What is up, everyone? DSP here, and welcome to the Week in Preview. It is Sunday night, September 25th, 2016 here in Washington State. Nice and cool, lovely weather we've been having recently. Now that autumn has hit, this past week was the first week of autumn, at least in the United States. I'm not sure, internationally where the autumn actually begins. And this week's an interesting one. We're ending off September. And ending off September, it means that there's going to be some ongoing things. There's going to be a new thing that's starting this week, which you're going to have control of. Okay, well, let me put it this way. Will you have 100% control? No, but I need to get your feedback to see what exactly you're interested in seeing me play this week, because we've got a few options, which I'm going to talk about in this video. Okay, so there's a lot to talk about in this video. There's a few things I want to hit upon before we actually get to the schedule. All right, first and foremost, this past week ended up being a little bit different than what originally I had planned it being, because we didn't know, for example, when was the Street Fighter V DLC coming out? Was I going to be able to get some people together to do a final run in Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies, right? There's a lot of things that were uncertain about this past week. So if you have not been paying attention, a few quick things. Number one, yes, I did play the final Street Fighter V DLC, Urian. He did release, and I played him on Friday, so you can check that out on DSP Gaming. As usual, I did all his trials and in the lab and his survival mode and all his story mode and all that, and then I did a bunch of online play. In addition, I did begin my Banjo-Kazooie HD playthrough. You can find that on DSP Gaming as well. I played a good 4 to 5 hours of the game back on Saturday. That was the big premiere. I actually did 2 sessions of it in celebration of it being the launch of that game, okay? Now, keep in mind, that game is the patrons playthrough from August. That's the reward. We hit the goal level, so I'm going to be doing an ongoing playthrough of that game over the course of this week. So that's going to be one of the major things. Now, let's talk a little bit about something that I saw happen on YouTube these past couple of weeks, all right? And I'm going to be real with everyone, honest. I don't think that it's true. The bottom line is, I've noticed, just checking out certain things, like, for example, certain videos that I've uploaded and stuff like that, it almost looks like views are, like, way down, all right? Now, most of you don't care about that. And honestly, I don't get paid off of views. So it doesn't matter to me that views are down. And overall, I've noticed that this month, the month of September, I'm doing just as fine as I did in August, all right? It's not like, oh my God, views are down and my business is doing terrible. It's not. It's actually doing just as well as it did in August. But according to YouTube, my views are down this month. So it makes no sense. My views are down, but I'm making the same amount of money. What? It doesn't make sense. I think YouTube is screwed up. I think that internally they've changed something, because if you actually notice on YouTube for the past couple of weeks, things have been being tweaked and being changed. For example, for like a whole day, comments weren't even showing up properly on videos. You couldn't even you could post, but then they wouldn't show up, and then all of a sudden they showed up way later. It was really weird, the whole system. There's new tabs now for me, from someone who uploads. In my pages, there's new like menus and selections and stuff that weren't there before, and every time YouTube changes something like that, something screws up on the website. Just today, I noticed that my live streams have changed. If you don't know this, with the way it used to work on YouTube, is that every time I live streamed, it would show up as one continuous video. So if you logged into my live stream to watch me live stream something on DSP Gaming, it would say like a ridiculous amount of thumbs up and a ridiculous amount of thumbs down. You're like, Phil just started this stream. How could he have, tens of thousands of thumbs up and thumbs down already? It doesn't make sense. Apparently, I guess what it did, it always considered it as one video. And apparently in the past week, that's changed. And now it's actually making separate videos for each stream, which honestly should have been what it did since the get-go of streaming on YouTube. You see what I mean? Like, there's these things that are weirdly changing internally for YouTube, and I get the feeling because of all these things internally changing, it's screwing with other stuff as well. So I'll give you some perfect examples here. This past week, I started Banjo-Kazooie. I finished up games like Dead Rising, BioShock, and the views look terrible. Like, some of these, they're not even 1,000 views, and I'm looking at it like, but the comments, the amount of thumbs up and thumbs down are in line with what a normal playthrough video would have. How could the views be so much dramatically lower than what we're used to? Let's face it. A typical playthrough, you know, if it's a long one or a drawn out one or a retro game, probably gets around 1,000 views a video. If it's a more popular hyped game, now we're talking you can get tens of thousands of views, typically maybe around 5,000 on average if it's a long played out playthrough. So I don't want people, I want you, the common viewer, to go to my channel and start watching. Wow, what happened to Phil's views? Is his business tanking? What's going on? No, not at all. In fact, like I said, I've been keeping tabs on everything going on recently, and I've been looking at the analytics and everything behind the scenes, and the money I'm bringing in is the same as it was last month, yet YouTube's telling me my views are down. It's logically can't happen. If views are down, it means advertisements down, it means I make less money, but it's not. It's bullshit. So YouTube's fucked up. So don't be discouraged from watching any of the new playthroughs or things that I've been doing simply because the views aren't showing on the videos. The bottom line is I don't make money off of views anyway. I make money off of things like ad revenue and engagement and stuff like that. So that's the important thing, and I'm still doing just as well as I did last month, so don't worry and think, oh no, the sky is falling. Phil's business is falling apart. It's not. It's actually the complete opposite. I'm doing fine. I don't know why YouTube is reflecting like no one's watching these videos when that's not the case. It's like I said, if there was, like, if all of a sudden people really weren't interested in my videos, you wouldn't see the same amount of likes and dislikes and comments on the videos. It would just be like nothing, right? So how am I getting the same ratio of likes and dislikes and comments on my videos, but the views are dramatically down? It makes no sense. YouTube's obviously fucked up. Anyway, it doesn't affect me anyway negatively, but just for your own knowledge, so you don't think, oh God, what's going on? Why does this video have, like, so few views? That's not the case. Just continue to watch the playthroughs, you know, like you always have, and enjoy them, and, you know, nothing's bad, okay? The final thing I want to mention before we get to the schedule is that Patreon is coming to a close for this month. Today is the 25th, which means there's only 5 days left to pledge to my Patreon. All right, for the month of September. We're still behind. We haven't hit the goal yet. We're about $75 or something like that away from hitting the goal for the month of September. This month, the big goal is a Halloween marathon. Everyone tells me they want a Halloween marathon. They can't wait to start nominating and voting on games, but we have to hit the goal. So with 5 days left, by the end of September 30th, midnight Pacific time, which is my time zone, we have to have about $75 more pledges in there to hit the goal and to do this upcoming Halloween marathon. So please check it out over at patreon.com/DarkSidePhil for all the details. As little as $1 helps. If you pledge $5 or more by the end of this month, you actually will be able to nominate and vote on those horror games that I'm going to play in the marathon on October 31st, Halloween night. Okay? Last but not least, I did a special vlog this past week. It was actually a vlog about Street Fighter V. And it's a pretty informative one where I kind of go through the basis of what's happened with Street Fighter V over the course of this year, how basically the professional fighting game players, the ones who make a living playing fighting games, not necessarily win every tournament, but they live stream, they fucking take donations, they, you know, on their streams and, you know, all kinds of shit like that on Twitch. They've got sponsorships from these fucking gaming companies, and all they're known for is playing competitive Street Fighter, all right? They're basically spinning Street Fighter V to be a much better game than it really is. Street Fighter V is one of the worst competitive Street Fighter games ever created on paper, black and fucking white. If you look at facts of previous Street Fighter games versus this one, you could definitively say it's a piece of crap, alright? But they're spinning it like you shouldn't have any negative feelings about the game, and you should love it, and you should continue to watch their streams and watch tournaments, because in their minds, if this game fails, Capcom has nothing else to keep anything popular, and fighting games won't be as popular, and they won't be able to do it for a living anymore. They're blatantly spinning it positively and or just flat out fucking lying about the game, in order to get popularity and views. I did a whole vlog about this right here on the King of Hate Vlogs. Right now, it has over 11,000 views and growing. So if you haven't seen the vlog yet, please give it a look, at least if you're interested in fighting games. It's gonna basically kind of reveal a lot of stuff that's controversial, that I'm sure a lot of people are mad at me that I said it, but I think the people just needed to get some truth. Rather than getting the fucking spin zone bullshit from the competitive FGC, someone had to step up and say the truth about fucking Street Fighter V. The game sucks, and I tell you why in that video and what to believe and what not to believe. Alright, so that was this past week. Now let's talk about the schedule coming up. A lot coming up this week, but some of it's going to be uncertain, and allow me to explain. Here's what I'm working on right now. Banjo-Kazooie. I started it on Saturday, and I've got a long way to go in this game. I get the feeling I've still probably got, like, maybe 3 major streams, if not more, to finish it up. Hitman has a new episode coming out this week. So that's cool. I've really liked the Hitman game over the course of this year. I'm definitely planning on playing this next episode. I think this is the next to last episode. I think there's one episode left after this one for Hitman. So definitely playing that on Tuesday when it actually releases, just like I've covered all the other episodes, all right? But outside of those two things, the only other thing that's guaranteed that's on the docket for me is Ask the King, and that's a big one. I got to bring this up. Ask the King, my Q&A show, where you ask questions on the kingofhate.com forums and I answer them, returns this Thursday. So that's going to be Thursday, September 29th. It will not be live streamed, but it's going to be my first half of the day. It's going to be a big one because it's now been over 2 months since I did the last episode. If you have not yet, please put your questions up on the kingofhate.com forums. There's already a thread there for it, all right? And if you were a patron of mine in the past 2 months, so either in July or August, you have a question that you want to ask for Ask the King, and you pledged the $20 that qualified you to get your question answered for sure, you should have access to that. I mean, at this point, yeah, I've already messaged everyone multiple times. I think you would already have told me if you didn't have access yet to the premium section of the kingofhate.com forums. Post up your questions by Thursday so you can get them answered for sure, all right? So, that being said, this Thursday, Ask the King, big one. I'm excited for it. I love doing Ask the King, but I was so just kind of busy and inundated with other stuff over the summer that I get to get back to it. And this is cool because now another 2 months, guess when the next Ask the King is? Thanksgiving. I always do one around Thanksgiving, and it looks like I'm on par to do another one right around Thanksgiving again, which is awesome, okay? So, Ask the King this coming Thursday. But outside of Banjo, Hitman, and Ask the King, my schedule's kind of open, right? And even though, yeah, I know that the three things will take up a lot of this week, there's still going to be kind of some empty spots, and you're going to ask, what am I going to be doing during those spots, all right? Well, allow me to get through at least the first 2 days of the week, because I have answers for you, and then later in the week is what I need your feedback on. So, tonight, after I do this, week in preview, I actually have some personals and bills and stuff to pay, so I'm not doing anything additional tonight for gameplay or anything like that. Monday the 26th, my gameplay stream is going to be the return to Overwatch. Yes, I have not played Overwatch now in over 3 weeks. I played it very early, I think in September when they did that patch that released some additional stuff, and since then I haven't played again. I want to play again. I like Overwatch a lot. It's a game that I went back to quite a lot this year, and I want to play it even more. So Overwatch is coming tomorrow. It's going to be my gameplay stream, and you'll see videos up on DSP Gaming. Tomorrow night, Monday night, I'm going to be doing more Banjo-Kazooie. I'll continue with that game. That will not be live streamed. It'll be probably another hour and a half to 2 hours of offline gameplay that I'll record and upload to DSP Gaming. All right. And by the way, I just want to emphasize this. Did I think that Banjo-Kazooie HD was going to be an amazingly popular playthrough? No, I didn't. I actually had no realistic expectations that people were going to come out to watch it. The stream that I did do got some pretty good attendance, but the videos on YouTube, Now, again, could that be YouTube screwing up or whatever? To me, it doesn't really matter. The patrons picked it. I'm going to keep playing it regardless of how many people are watching it, but it's not going to be like a major focus that I have to stream every day. I might be playing it a lot offline, okay? Tuesday, it's going to be Hitman, all right? I'm going to be playing the new Hitman episode on stream. So I'll do my first cold run where I go through and I try to just do the basic objectives. Then I'll do a second run like I always do where I try to do the alternate method of doing things. And it'll be fun. I like doing the alternate methods when I do the Hitman assassinations. It makes it a lot more fun to find these more creative and interesting ways to do the assassinations. So that's going to be Tuesday's stream. Tuesday night, more than likely, I'll probably play even more Banjo-Kazooie. Okay, so finally on Wednesday is when my schedule starts to clear up a little bit. And here's what I'm thinking. I'm kind of torn between a few options, all right? Kind of like 3 options. So let me give you the 3 options that I'm juggling in my mind right now. And these are the 3 things that I'm considering doing this week, and you're going to have input. You're going to be able to vote tonight on what you want to see coming up this week, all right? Here's the 3 options for this week to balance with Banjo-Kazooie and Ask the King and all that going on. Number 1 would be for me to return to Dead Rising, the remaster that I just recently finished last week, and do a New Game Plus run through it. Now, I've already beaten the game once. I've got these great stats, all these abilities. This run is going to be highly dependent on the viewers, because what I'm going to do is, as I go through it, see if people on the stream chat, for example, could say, oh, Phil, there's a psychopath over here that you missed the first time through. Go fight him now. And I'll basically listen to kind of the input from people watching to tell me what I missed the first time through so that I can run and do a more, not necessarily completionist, because I have no intentions of saving every single survivor, especially with the absolutely god-awful AI in the game of the survivors, but I would like to definitely see all the boss fights and stuff and see if I can make a better attempt at a second run through the game. Maybe do things differently at the end, right? Instead of doing the ending that I got, maybe try to do a different ending or something. You know, we'll see, but that's kind of the goal that I have for it. So, that's option number one. I get a feeling a lot of people will be interested in that because people seem to really enjoy my Dead Rising playthrough. Option number two. There's a new game called Virginia. All right, I haven't heard much about it at all. I personally didn't hear about it until a few people messaged me this past week, and they said, Phil, there's this new game called Virginia. Seems like it might be very heavily narrative-based. It might be right up your alley for your style of commentary. We'd like to see if you'd like to play it, because it's coming up this next week, and you haven't mentioned it at all. I don't know much about it. Now, I'm sure many people are probably hearing about it for the first time, and you'll go look it up too. If this is something you're interested in seeing me play, let me know, all right? Or number three. Now, this one's kind of a long shot, in my opinion. This is just something out of the blue, because one of the major new releases this week, if you're not aware, everyone, there's 3 new releases this week. There's, oh, God, I wrote it down. Where is it? Oh, that's right. There's this new Shantae game. It's a platformer, 2D platformer. I guess there's a new modern version of it. Not too interested in that. There's also a new Sonic Boom game called Fire and Ice. I'm going to be honest with everyone. I was so put off by how bad that Sonic Boom game was 2 years ago that I bought. I mean, I just have no desire to play anything in the Sonic Boom franchise. And the bottom line is next year we're going to have 2 new games, Sonic Generations and whatever that other one is. So they're both supposed to be 2 new franchises of Sonic. So I kind of don't really want to play the Sonic Boom game. But the other new release this week is Forza Horizon 3. If you're not aware, this is in the Forza Horizon series, you know, driving simulator and all that stuff. And I have not played a driving/racing game in a long time. In fact, if you actually look back, I think it might be 2 to 3 years since I've actually tried to do a playthrough or at least coverage of some kind of a driving game. So I think what I want to do is one of those 3 things. Either a second run through Dead Rising as a New Game Plus with the help of people watching to tell me what I missed and I should go do. Or check out this new game, Virginia. Or Forza Horizon 3. One of those 3 things I'm strongly considering doing this week, okay? Now, I want to clear up some elephants in the room. So people have been messaging me about stuff the past couple of weeks, asking me, am I doing this, am I doing this, am I doing this? And I'm going to address it right now in this video. Am I playing NBA 2K17? No. I played NBA 2K for the past several years, okay? And it's a good game, and I had fun with it, but last year, basically the only reason anyone tuned in is they wanted to see me do my face scan, fail again, and do the story, which was a Spike Lee written story, okay? After the story ended, the game was boring as dirt, and there was no reason to continue playing it. I agree. And, you know, sports games are good if I play them every few years, or maybe there's a change or a new feature or whatever. So I'm not doing NBA this year. I'm just not. You know, I have no interest in it. FIFA. Some people ask me, why, Phil, why am I playing FIFA? Because this year it has a story mode. Well, the bottom line is, no one asked me for it when it was new. Like, it came out, it's already out from what I'm to understand. And, like, no one even bothered to say, hey, Phil, are you playing it or not? So I'm assuming there was no interest. Now, all of a sudden, after the fact, a few people messaged me, Phil, can't believe you're not playing it. Didn't seem like there was interest. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of games that I'm not known for, synonymous for. These sports games are one of them. Every once in a while, I'll play, you know, an MLB or an NBA or a Madden or, you know, but when I play them, sometimes they get attention, sometimes they don't. For example, earlier this year, I played the NHL beta. There was a beta released, and a fan sent me a code for it, and I played it, and I just didn't get it. The controls were very frustrating, and based off of that, I've determined I probably shouldn't play the retail game, right? So yeah, it didn't seem like there was a lot of interest in FIFA for me to play, and that's why I didn't play that. Now, the other one that I've been getting a ton of messages about, and I can't understand why, Deus Ex, Mankind Divided, which I just finished, by the way, about 2 weeks ago. Was it 2 weeks ago? I think it was less than 2 weeks ago that I finished this game. Long playthrough, right? Has a DLC already. And it costs $12. Unless you bought the season pass, which I didn't. It costs $12 for this DLC, and people are like, Phil, are you going to play it? No. I just finished the game. And if a DLC comes out that quickly after the release of the game, what that tells me is that DLC should have been in the fucking game, and they're ripping everyone off, right? If anything, the one major complaint that everyone had about Mankind Divided was that the main story was very weak. It seemed like it was too quick. It wasn't as strong as the story in Human Revolution, and the side content of the game far exceeded in story what the main plot line did. So maybe if they didn't fucking take the DLC and sell it less than a month after the release of the game, right? Maybe if that was part of the plot would have seemed better. So I have no desire to sink more money into this fucking game that I felt wasn't as good as the first one, and I was a little bit disappointed over. I just don't see it. I can't with good conscience buy another DLC in less than a month after it's fucking released. That's ridiculous. It should not even be out this quickly, is the bottom line. So I'm not doing that. So there's a lot of things that came up in September that I didn't really play, all right? So here's the deal. Here's what's going to happen. Right now, when I upload this video to YouTube, once it goes live, I'm going to put a poll up on my Twitter, @TheyCallMeDSP, right over here, @TheyCallMeDSP. The poll's going to say, which of these three options would you prefer to see Phil do this week? The Dead Rising, remastered New Game Plus run, the Virginia game, or Forza Horizon 3. And based off of your input, it's not going to directly 100% solidify what I play, but it's going to heavily influence it. I'm actually curious, out of these three options of stuff that's available to play this week, what people actually would want to see me play in comparison to if I just made a cold choice, right? I might not necessarily be in tune with what people want. So that's why I'm trying to gather data. So just so you know, a lot of people get angry if, like, one game narrowly wins over another. Phil didn't play that game? Well, the poll isn't meant to 100% solidify what I play. It just gives me an idea of what's out there that people want to see. There were a few weeks back, I believe, I did a poll, and one game came in second. I ended up playing the game that was second place or something like that, and people got mad at me. That's not the purpose of the poll. It's not to control my destiny. It's just to get opinion on what people are interested in. And then during the time period when it's realistic, maybe I'll play it. Now, this week, I could probably play any three of those games. But I'll give you another example. XCOM 2 comes out this week. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not playing XCOM 2. There's many reasons. Number one, because it's already been out on PC for most of the year, which is fucking stupid that it was a PC exclusive for most of the year. Now it comes out on consoles. Already any hype for it is completely gone. But number two, the game's too long. I already know from playing XCOM 1. The game's insanely fucking long. And I put like 15 to 20 hours into XCOM 1, didn't beat it, and eventually just had to write it off because I was so busy during the hardcore gaming season, I didn't have any more fucking time to play it. And that's exactly what would happen with XCOM 2. I'd start to play it, and then, but within a week or two, I'd get caught up in other new releases and never go back to it. So that's the bottom line, is I'm not playing XCOM 2 either. I don't really feel like there's a lot of demand or a lot of interest in it right now. All the hype died out earlier this year when they made it a PC exclusive, stupidly. So that's the deal with a lot of this stuff. A lot of people ask me, are you playing this? You playing this? I hope that just addressed all the elephants in the room. And your voting on the poll is going to help determine what I play this week. All right? So the poll will go up tonight. When I say tonight, Sunday night, will go up on my Twitter, and I'll probably leave it there for a few days so that you can vote on it, and then maybe when I get to, like, Wednesday, when it's time to actually start playing whatever the new thing is, I'll use that poll to heavily influence what I play. All right? So, in brief recap, and then we'll finish up and have the credits roll and all of that. Tomorrow, Overwatch, and then more Banjo-Kazooie. Tuesday, the new Hitman episode, and then more Banjo-Kazooie. Wednesday, whatever I start new, and more Banjo-Kazooie. Thursday, Ask the King, and then I'll see if Thursday night, if I want to do whatever I started new, or more Banjo-Kazooie. And then Friday's probably going to be whatever I started new, and more Banjo-Kazooie. You see what I mean? Like, Banjo's probably going to end up being kind of the secondary game to everything, simply because it is a retro game, and there's not a ton of mainstream interest in it. Hopefully, whatever I do start up as a new playthrough, people will want to see more on live stream, okay? So there you go. That's the rough idea for the week. Now, FYI, this is the final week of 2016 that is bereft of major new releases. And what I mean by that is, next week, we've got Mafia 3. The week after, Gears of War 4, as well as WWE, and the launch of the PlayStation Virtual Reality System. The week after that, Battlefield 1. The week after that, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. I may play Titanfall 2. I'm a little bit on the fence about that. And there's a few other things coming up during the month, too, odds and ends, that I'm going to be interested in playing. Then in November, like every week, there's major releases. December. So for the next, 3 months, every week's going to have hot new releases that people want to see. So no more of this, oh, I gotta play this game and it's a dud, or here's a downtime old game. We're gonna get into the heavy nitty-gritty of the hardcore gaming season, which I think everyone's been waiting for. And like, where is it? Last year we had games like Until Dawn and Metal Gear Solid 5 and Super Mario Maker and this one and that one that you can all name happened in August, September. And this year there's nothing. Like, nothing major really happened, right? So hopefully next month we'll really hit the ground running with the new stuff. But for now, this is the final week of kind of finishing up with all the older stuff and the downtime stuff until the new releases start hitting next week. That's it, everyone. Thanks for watching the Weekend Preview. Please vote in the poll that I post up tonight. And without further ado, thank you to the August patrons that made this new upcoming and ongoing, which already started, Banjo-Kazooie playthrough possible. Please pledge to Patreon the next 5 days so we can get through the Halloween marathon. I'm really excited. I'm already getting ideas for Halloween costumes and stuff. I've been going to different stores. So please, I hope it happens. Thank you to those who have pledged already. And without further ado, thanks to the August patrons. Here they go. Peace out.